Lifestyle Podcast. Use the power of discovering new habits to create success in all areas of life. Body, fitness and nutrition, being, spirituality, passion and purpose, balance, marriage, kids and relationships, business, marketing, sales, leadership and systems. Transform your life by learning how habits work. And now your host, a husband, father, entrepreneur, trainer, coach, and warrior, Jesse Ewell.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of playing small. So I just got back over the last week of being at a Tony Robbins event called Business Mastery in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'll be honest with you, spending a week in Vegas felt like spending a year there. I had never been there for that long, but one of the things that came up for me in this event was this idea of playing small, or seeing possibly how there's some areas where, you know, I had been playing small. And if you think about it, playing small refers to the part of each of us that's focused on this short-term comfort, this feeling of just being safe, secure, and looking for immediate relief, possibly even validation. And so as I continued to sit there for a few days, I kind of realized, man, have I been playing small? And if you want to think about the contrast of this, would be playing big, or possibly even playing out loud. Those are some of the things that we use as terms, but it's really being willing to get uncomfortable, to take a risk, to risk like being vulnerable and risking uncertainty and going after what it is you truly want, whether you know you're going to do that or not. And I always think of, you know, playing big as a place of you're willing to just jump off the cliff and not really know where you're going to land, or not know where you're going to end up, but you trust in yourself enough to be able to do this. And on the other side of this is this great sense of freedom that comes with it. So my question for you is, are you playing small? Think about this. Are you playing small in your life? And maybe for you, you might be playing small inside your fitness. Like you're showing up to the gym, but you're not really doing the work. Like maybe it's inside your nutrition. You have a diet, you have this, but you're not really following it. Or maybe you're just going to church and going through the motions. Maybe inside of your relationship, you're realizing, hey, I'm not taking my spouse out every single week on a date. I'm not even having communication with them. I'm afraid to go deeper into our relationship. Or maybe it's some areas of your business that you're afraid to just put yourself out there on social media, or put yourself out there kind of like on the corner and just shout out, you know, how powerful your business is, how you can help people. But are you playing small? And the reason why I want to say this is this was a question that I asked myself just over this last week after being at Tony Robbins. And I had to get real with myself. I had to answer the question, and I had to open myself up. And one of the things that I began to realize was this: how small that I had played over the last 8 months. And just so you know, yeah, I've done some powerful things. I've done a lot of things. In fact, when I really sat down and said, okay, well, what have you done in the last 8 months? Well, I launched a coaching program called Habit-Based Lifestyle back in December, end of December, early January. And then back in May, me and my wife launched a program called Marriage Boot Camp. And not only that, but in between that time, December, I launched a book called Man in the Mirror, my first book ever. I also launched a podcast, which is what you're listening to now, Habit-Based Lifestyle. We're now I think by this point, we're almost 105 episodes in. And then I just finished writing another book called Habit-Based Lifestyle, Living a Habit-Based Lifestyle. And you know what? Even as much of those things as I've done, I can still see areas in my life that I've played small. And on top of it, I've, done programs like 40 Years of Zen. I just did Business Mastery. I've done several other programs in between. I've also had 3 or 4 other coaches in between that. But even with those things, I still see times where I played small. I see times where I've held myself back from putting myself all the way out there and maybe talking about every single thing that I've done. I've seen myself hold myself back from doing live videos, even from doing podcasts on certain subjects. Even at times talking about real life shit, real life problems, and then just focusing more on the highlight reel, like realizing that writing a book and putting yourself out there, putting your story out there is a scary thing. Doing podcast after podcast, I can think of the first 50 episodes being all about me and my life and things that I had went through before I was comfortable to start bringing on guests and other people. And I can even remember at times where I'm like listening to these podcasts saying, okay, is anybody getting anything out of these? And then I realized when I started getting something out of them, the actual impact it was making. But I can also see where I'd held back for days and even weeks at launching programs. Some of the programs I talk about launching here, Habit-Based Lifestyle and Marriage Bootcamp, holding ourselves back from actually launching these. And you see this idea of playing small. And when I say playing small, I think of like dimming your light. It's an epidemic in our lives today. I have so many people I talk to that they almost are addicted to playing small. And that's scary because on the other side of this is that fulfillment. It's that freedom that you find when you don't play small. But it's also what holds you back from growing. You see, playing small is one of the biggest things that holds you back from growing, getting you out of your comfort zone and really diving into freedom, diving into this fulfillment. And so I want to touch a little bit just about what it was like to spend a few days away from my day-to-day business and just to be able to realize a few things. You see, being around people who are not just about making money, and people not just focused on getting out of scarcity, but people really committed to financial growth. Here's the reality. If you live in scarcity, if you're living in survival financially, whether you have money or not, remember, a lot of times this survival, this scarcity, it's what's going on in our mind. It's not necessarily what's true. But you can't create anything when your primary focus, when your number one priority is survival. And if you do create something from this place, all you're creating is more survival, more scarcity, and that's what you seem to attract in people back to you. But you see this, creating something to actually make a difference in the world that, yes, it's probably going to be uncomfortable because people may criticize it. Creating something that has value will have other people oftentimes ridicule you, say that you can't do that or you shouldn't do that or there might be a bigger problem. But here's what I want you to know. If it didn't matter, if it didn't make a difference, no one would say anything. And that's really where playing small comes into play. Because if you don't put yourself out there, no one says anything and you keep yourself in this same place. But here's what I really took away is you can make money And you can focus on surviving, getting out of scarcity. And there's obviously a time and place for that. And I think early on, when you first become an entrepreneur, or maybe when you're starting a new company, there's this in between that makes you have to make the choice to take that leap, to get out of this place. Because if there wasn't playing small, there wouldn't be playing big. And we have to know the difference of what it feels like to move from one to the other. But you can make money, or you can make money and make a difference at the same time. You see, playing small means our actions are motivated by fear, insecurity, scarcity. It's a reactive way we live, and it keeps us stuck in one place. But playing big requires us to step forward and out of our comfort zone. It requires us to take a leap and to trust ourselves. You see, my programs, Habit-Based Lifestyle and Marriage Bootcamp, are about making a difference in people's lives. It's about making an impact on lives to come, not just the person's life that I'm working with, but their kids, their wife, their husband, their spouse, their friends, their family. It's about making a bigger impact. And then we talk about Marriage Bootcamp, talking about making an impact on legacies to come, making an impact on my wife, my kids, and my family, and my kids' future kids. So here's what I want you to commit to, and that's to playing all in. That when you feel like you're afraid to take that initial step, to step from playing small to playing big, that when you take that leap, you trust in the leap that you're taking. You trust in yourself. You see, there's a lot that goes along with making that initial step. And just being able to recognize, man, right now I feel like I'm playing a little bit small. What would it take for me to just take that leap, to make a shift? I don't think the problem is in playing small. I think it's in not recognizing that that's what you're doing. And so when you do feel that feeling of fear, or you do feel that feeling like you're on the edge of a cliff and worried about stepping off what's underneath you, or like wanting this guarantee to be there, you have to take that step in faith and just trust in yourself, and trust playing big, because on the other side of that is where you find the fulfillment and you find the freedom in your life. And that's really what this is all about. So I want to thank you guys for being on here. I wanted to do this because this is a reminder for myself. As much as it is that I want to make an impact on you, I want to make an impact on my life, because I know when I do that, I'm making an impact on yours. So where in your life are you playing small? Maybe it's in your body. Maybe it's in your fitness. Maybe it's in your relationship with God. Maybe it's in relationship with your spouse. Maybe it's in your relationship with your kids, or maybe it's somewhere in your business. And what is one thing you can begin to change in your life to stop playing small? Until next episode, thank you for being here. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in my Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group here on Facebook, where I will be dropping daily habits, daily tips to help you live to your human potential. And maybe you want to be one of our next case studies, feel free to contact me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.